I'd like to welcome everyone to the Challenge 40 Battle of the Eras.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Right Reality Podcast, the number one. My name is Steven, and joining me this week, Mixie is out of town enjoying her birthday weekend. It is everyone's favorite. She's making a triumphant return to the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Mom LaFrank. Air horns for Mom LaFrank.
Oh, okay. I thought I was going to hear the air horn.
Oh,
you put that in late, well, I'm off to a grand start here, waiting for the air horn, but obviously you put that in later. Hello, it's been a long time since I've joined you. I think this is maybe my third time in all these years helping you out a little bit while your partner in crime or drinking partner from last week is out of town. You couldn't have given me a harder podcast to follow. Both of you drinking last week.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were ripping shots this week. Are you not? Do you not have your shot glass next to you?
You know I do partake of a little more than you, Stephen, but seeing you both drink last week and Mixie doing the shots, it does remind me of the last time I was throwing back shots, and that was 30. Yes, I said 30 years ago. I was at a wedding. Al Slayton, you remember him, your father's really good friend?
I do.
Yes, we were at that wedding. Your father was in the one of the groomsmen, and I was trying to keep up with the groomsmen, drinking tequila shots, and needless to say, it did not end too well.
I was not aware of this story. So while I was 10 years old, was I at this wedding as well?
No, I don't. You might have stayed with Granddad when we went to this.
That makes sense now.
And we went up there, and I mean, it was up in, I think, Wisconsin, Minneapolis, St. Paul area.
Minnesota.
Minnesota. Yes. And I was trying to keep up with them with tequila shots, which I used to drink many, many, many years ago. And your father did not take me back to the room. One of the other groomsmen threw me in the bed, I think, like in the middle of the whole thing, because I was passed out. Yeah. The next morning, the plane ride back, which was a very early flight, was just miserable.
Oh, boy.
I think that's where my shot taking ended, you know.
That's a firecracker Mom LaFrank story right there, if I've ever heard one.
It kind of was, yeah.
With an early flight the next day, too. That is brutal.
Very early flight, and I was just miserable on the plane coming back, and your father had nothing. Yeah, he was like, you made your bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You decided to try to keep up with us. That's your fault.
I think I missed half of the. I didn't miss the ceremony, just half of the reception. So.
Half the reception.
Yeah.
Yes. Well,
yeah, but I was proud of you last week. You had a couple. They looked like those Long Island iced teas. I don't think they were, but they looked like that.
Yeah, they were the Icelander, which is a vodka, lime juice, and 7-Up or Sprite situation. So yeah, I did 2 of those last week. Yeah,
you did. What's that?
I know. Trying to be a good teammate, trying to be a good podcasting partner for Mix as she was going through it. Yeah.
How was she the next morning? You guys had to go to work the next morning. How was she?
We did. I mean, I came in a little bit later as I usually do, so I'm not sure how the beginning of her day started, but I think she managed pretty well. So all things considered, she did a great job. The reaction from all of the community has been great for Mix. I do want to say a lot of people had messaged us on the side asking why can't we donate to the community pot on that episode. Because we were using the shot, everybody song, it did get copywritten, as we knew it was going to be, which means you cannot donate on an episode like that. So, right now, if you're listening, because there is no video this week for obvious reasons, if you want to donate this week to make up for last week, Feel free, everybody. Go for it.
Yeah, I don't know how any of that works. Surprise, surprise.
There we go. That's about right. Yeah, that's fine. That's not. We didn't bring you in for your expertise on that. We brought you in for your expertise on the
I
challenge
don't
this
have
week.
too much expertise on anything to do with this show, but I don't know. I don't know. Another thing I wanted to talk about from last week is the fact that you two, I was waiting through the whole episode for you two to catch this and put 2 and 2 together, but you never did.
Okay.
You talked for so long about feet.
Okay.
And then Mixie kept saying how much of an athlete she was. And no one said athlete's foot through the whole thing.
Damn, that's a good one. That's a good one.
You missed that.
Yeah, we did. We missed that. We apologize. We will learn and grow from that.
As you do every week.
We try, we try here at the number one to just keep it above board, try to learn and grow as we always have done and always continue to do. That's what we're here for.
Above board. Drinking above board.
Drinking above board, just weird names for things. Yeah, you know what it is, I do want to ask before we get going, MB. Also, if this is everybody's first time, congratulations. Welcome to the number one. Thanks for coming in. How have you been enjoying this season so far? I know we do talk on the phone, but you used to be like a weekly segment, but now that we have the screeners, it's a little bit more challenging to get you in all the time.
Yes, it is, because I listen to them. You've already done the whole podcast by the time I get on. No, I've really, really enjoyed this season. The only thing that I was so upset about, and I'm sure a lot of people watching, was that CT went home so early, because who doesn't love him? And his little segments that he was doing, oh my God, what was it called? Something pro?
Pro tips.
Pro tips. Oh my God. Hilarious. So yeah, I'm sad to see him go. Very sad to see him go.
Overall, you've been enjoying the season, though. It's been exciting for you?
Yes, very much so. I really like the format. I was getting worried, as everyone was, when era number 1 was going downhill very fast.
Yeah.
And wondered what happened. You kind of wonder, did they plan this out, that they were suddenly going to go into individuals at a certain point, or was it because Rachel was on her own? I don't know. We may never know that. We may never know. No, I have thoroughly enjoyed all of it. I don't know about, as I'm calling him, Bananarama now. It's just like, it's his show. It's just, you see so much more of him. And I know I love bananas. Everyone loves bananas. But after all these seasons and all his wins, it just seems like they're showing him in his, what do you call that, the confessional or something?
Yeah, his confessionals, yeah.
Over and over and over again. I mean, he outweighs everyone doing that. So I don't know if he's getting paid extra for that, or... No, I think it's just he's said before, like, a lot of people are trying to lay low. I think he said that maybe at the beginning of this episode or last episode, people are just trying to lay low, and he's just like, hey, I feel like I got to carry this. And, he's obviously very actively involved in what's going on, because he's getting voted in, and then he's picking people to go in, and he's having arguments with Michelle and stuff like that. So, like, it makes sense that that's what's going on, and it seems like not many other things are going on. I will say the beginning of this episode, at the beginning of our episode for this kind of was like one of the weaker episodes. I think recently it felt a little bit like a filler, which is fine. They all can't be as good as they once were. And as the people are starting to dwindle, it became a little bit tougher. But, that's kind of where we're at this point of the season. Yeah. But don't be afraid, boys and girls. We have a great episode for you of the challenge this week. Should we get going, MB? Are you ready? Yes, ready. Okay, boys and girls. Coming up on this week's episode, I try my hardest to fill in as the ass of the week finder, but we know editor number 1 is working, so it shouldn't be that hard. So we have that coming up. We also have some tomfoolery going on with the season guessing, that they're just trying to throw a monkey wrench into the number 1's plan of giving out bags for guessing the right season. There was some tomfoolery. I think all of you caught it. And then, as I just said, our editor number 1, the graphics guy, was back. We'll discuss that
But I'm going to start, MB, with the earliest ass of the week ever on the history of the Right Reality. And you know what it is? It was our editor, Editor 1, knew that Mixie was not going to be here this week. And he said, let me take care of it for you. So if you are watching on YouTube, which is, there's not much going on over there this week, but I will give you a little behind the scenes sneak peek. When we get the episodes sent to us from MTV, they come to us in like a portal, and there's just a random image that is the thumbnail for the episode. The ass of the week was in the thumbnail, and for what feels like the 90th time this season, congratulations, Jenny is the ass of the week.
Ass of the week. Ass of the week. Ass of the week.
Yeah, Editor 1 was doing me a solid and just knew, hey, I'm going to make it really easy on you. I'm just going to put it in the thumbnail for your screener so you don't even have to think about it this week. Thank you very much, Editor 1. Thank you very much.
Well, I missed that at the very beginning, and I watched I watched the episode twice because I thought maybe my son would let me do Ass of the Week, and there was like no pool scenes except like 10 seconds. No asses there. Not that a woman of my age is looking at ladies' asses that much.
Or men's.
Or men's. Oh, that's true. Yes, that's right. It is the men's. But the only ass that I saw, which was worth mentioning, is Tori when she was on the couch.
Okay.
She was lifting her ass, getting the chest pieces out.
Yes, I saw that too.
When she was talking to Rachel.
Hey, you know what? Hey, we're going to do another one. Tori, you also get Ass of the Week. Congratulations, Mom, the Frank Ass of the Week. Let's go.
Ass of the week. Ass of the week.
Wow. Well, you know what? Thank you for being a good podcasting partner this week. You did your research. You watched twice. You were like, I need to find all the bits to make this just a great episode and fill in for Mix. And look at you, finding a secondary Ass of the Week. So a double Ass of the Week segment this week. What a great way to start episode 14, which the name of this is Swinging Era.
Oh, Swinging Era.
Now, I feel like it should have been called Swingers Era.
Uh-huh.
You know, like swinging. No, like they're just not really good with the names this year. They're just really not.
Maybe they don't want to get too close for comfort saying swingers.
Listen, the Elimination name was Coming from the Rear or Coming from the Back. And it's just like, I mean.
Yeah, there was a pause from everyone when TJ said that.
Yeah, so they're putting it in the episode. They can change the name of the episode, you know? Yeah.
Very true.
They even got a reaction from TJ during that. And like he had a little chuckle. I was like, yeah, they got him. They got TJ on that too.
He's good for a laugh.
He's always down for a little chuckle, and we love that about Mr. TJ, the handler, BMX legend. Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, there was some tomfoolery related to our previously on the challenge guesses. Now, I know what everybody's thinking. You guys did not guess last week.
I know that. I'm like, when are they going to? They were both too drunk to do that. That's what it was, guys. They're both toast. Yeah,
look, that was definitely it. Yeah. I mean, we were lucky we got through that thing in 2 hours. That could have been much longer than that, but
I don't know if Mixie could have taken another shot. Unlucky for some 13. How did she do that? I don't know.
Yeah, that was absolutely an incredible performance from her. So again, like donate to the cause, donate to YouTube right now. The super thanks to congratulate Mixie on making it through now that we're not using any copywritten stuff for that. But yeah, they had some tomfoolery this one because the little camera swings over and it shows season 14. I was like, okay, season 14. And then I'm hearing Hunter's voice. I'm like, I think that's my guy Hunter. Season 14? We're on season 40. There's no way he could have. And then they clearly show that this was during Dirty 30. So now I'm wondering, have they been using the wrong seasons this entire time? Have extra people should have got their bags that did not get bags? I don't know what they're doing. Obviously, they probably didn't have a thing there, like a thing on the wall that said season 30, so they had to kind of figure it out. But now my brain is just all jumbled up, wondering, have these been off all year and nobody has noticed that the season names have been off? I don't know, but I'm not going to do the research to go back. So you can't blame us if you got the season right, but they put the wrong one on there. That was an incredible thing.
Did they always show season and a number and then show the little clip?
Yeah. So usually as the camera swings over, they're using one of those posters on the wall, and they're editing in the video into that thing. But underneath, there's a little plaque that says the season. And I believe up until this episode, they've all been correct, but I don't know. So,
oh my goodness,
there's a part of me that feels like, if somebody got the season that was on there, versus, people who did that. So I am making the executive decision that, according to me and the rules that we have here at the number one, I will be giving out 2 bags this week. One for the person that correctly guessed the season that was technically on the plaque, which was season 14. So congratulations to Julie and the hotties. Julie, oh boy. These are, you guys, on the week that Nixie's not here, the 2 people that won might have the most difficult hottie names. Okay. Julie Orlandi. Orlandiniti? Oh God, Julie, I'm so sorry. Julie Orlandini. Orlandini.
That sounds better.
Okay, Julie Orlandini. Congratulations. Please DM us on Instagram with your shipping information. And then a season 30 Dirty 30 winner in the hotties, Antoinette. Oh God. Let me spell it out. That helped me last time. TramonTozzi.
Ooh.
Oh God. Antoinette, I'm so sorry. Antoinette Tramontazini. Congratulations, Antoinette Tramontazini.
She knows who she is.
Yeah, Antoinette knows who she is. Antoinette knows.
That's so cool.
So Antoinette, DM us on Instagram your shipping information, and I will get bags out to you. There will be a mass amount of bags going out this week. I apologize for the delay on the other ones.
Have you sent any out, Stephen?
Yes, we sent the first bag out, and then nobody had one for a while. And then we had like 2 winners in back-to-back weeks. So those will go out. Actually, they've already gone out because we're recording this on Sunday. They go out tomorrow. So we got it all. We got it all handled. It's all handled over here at the number one. Okay,
I won't have to discipline you then.
No, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Okay.
Let's talk about the episode. Derek was talking right at the beginning about how he was ready for a final, which made me a little bit nervous because I was like, are they going to set Derek up talking about how he's so ready to get to a final, and then they're just like going to eliminate him right out of the gate?
Yeah. That worried me too, because I listen to the 2 of you every week going, oh, we know who's going. Oh, we watched the episode like a third of the way through. We know who's going home. This is obvious. This week was not so obvious, in my opinion.
Yeah. Up until
Not.
when do I have it? I think like the 28-minute mark, I was like, oh, I don't know. And then even later in the episode, I'm like, I'm not 100% sure.
Is that Corey or Jess? They kept showing Corey, his kids, him talking to Nellie T, and then Josh crying, and it's just like, which one of them?
I mean, Josh is always crying, so I mean that doesn't give anything away. But yes.
Well, no, true. But Derek at the beginning, I mean, you gotta love him, but at the very beginning of the episode, I'm like, what is he still doing here? He's got a lot of friends. He hasn't really stepped up to the plate. He hasn't won too much. And then, hey, strike me down. He won the challenge.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's good
Amazing.
storytelling right there. That's good storytelling. We're going to be like how he's ready for a final, how he's got to prove himself amongst all these other strong men, and then he's going to go to a sudden death, and then he's going to win it. Great storytelling. We're paying off everything that we set up. Very well done. But yes, right at the beginning, I was like, uh-oh, Derek. Uh-oh, Derek. Don't do him like that. Yeah. Don't do Derek like that.
No, it's like he's only here because he's got so many friends and no one's thrown him in. But he proved me wrong 15 minutes later.
Well, and then they had people talking about how everybody perceives him as weak and stuff like that. And it's like, well, I mean, let's not feed into that at this point. You know, we're not seeing all that. But we did see that during, I guess, was that last year during 39 where he was doing so well? Or was that All Stars? I can't really remember what season it was at this point. They all blur together, but he's like the fastest one out there. I just remember when they had to climb the stuff in the stadium stairs. I think that might have been 39.
Oh,
and he was just so much quicker than everybody else to get there. And I was like, Jesus Christ, look at Derek go.
No, he was quite an athlete. And honestly, they showed him pumping iron. This is the first time I've seen him do anything in the so-called gym. He actually had some weights. I'm like, go, Derek.
Yeah, do your thing, man. Get after it. And then that brings us to the daily, which looked really, really fun to do, honestly. I mean...
not my idea of fun.
No? You wouldn't enjoy this?
Probably not. Probably not.
What about 20 years ago? Would you do this 20 years ago?
Maybe 20 years ago, but I don't know. On the truck thing kind of scared me, even though obviously they weren't just hanging there like Tarzan.
Right.
I don't know if people your age even know who Tarzan is.
Yes.
But I remember Tarzan. He actually had the rope and nothing holding him on from behind.
Yeah.
When he was from tree to tree.
Yeah, they were strapped in pretty good there. It did look. Yeah, it looked a little bit more challenging, I think.
If you got the rhythm down, you were good.
Yeah, and I think you also had to have the reach. I don't think they were driving any closer for people, but maybe they moved some of the targets in. You know, it's different. I mean, listen, if Theo was still there and you have Theo hitting targets at the same place that Aviv could hit targets,
right?
I don't think that's fair, but maybe it's a difference of where they clip you in or something like that. How much slack they give you on the harness so you actually have a chance of doing it. You know what I mean? But
one would hope that they do that for the people. But let's face it, they've had things where they're jumping off high buildings and they're not pulling the flags back to help the short people.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Who knows really how all that works? But it did look fun. Tori didn't do great, which I was honestly very surprised about right out of the gate. And
yeah, I agree.
You know, sometimes it seemed like they were trying to kick them, and the move was to like lean and kind of like lay down and try to hit it with your arm versus trying to kick it. So again, the advantage of going later was a big help here.
Absolutely. They see where they're standing one end of the truck, and then as they're coming to the flag or whatever they're trying to hit, they're moving across.
Yes.
Jumping across.
Yeah, they're jumping across, leaning up, trying to slap the target with their hand.
Yeah.
And exploding the dust into the air.
Oh, yeah.
I like how they had to shut down like a whole road in Thailand for this, you know, or Vietnam, wherever they are. I keep forgetting where they are.
What did that cost them?
I don't know. Maybe the challenge was like, hey, listen, you don't have a road long enough. We'll just build the road for you. How much does that cost? $50? Okay, we got you. You know?
$50.
Here's the other thing. I don't know how many people noticed this, but the trucks, both of the trucks had like smashed windscreens. Like one of them was much worse than the other. And if you're on YouTube, you're seeing it right now. The windscreens for this looked like they had been in like a destruction derby or whatever that thing is called back in the day. Demolition derby.
So they weren't out. They were just messed up?
They were
How
just
did
like,
these drivers see where they were going?
that was the question I had. I was like, this doesn't seem
Lord.
safe. Obviously, maybe this is how they got the semis on a cheap challenge budget, potentially. It's like, hey, we got these 2 semis, but you can't really see out of the window. They're like, let us take care of that for you. Don't worry, you know?
Okay, so are they people from the show driving the trucks? They're not people from Vietnam driving the truck, correct? They have to
No,
be people-
I'm going to assume it's probably like a local hire for that. I don't think they're flying in
Really?
people to drive the trucks. Yeah, I'm going to say they probably hired like local drivers to do something like that.
All right, that seems a little dangerous.
Yeah,
Those
or
light poles
maybe they
were
have
so
stunt
close.
drivers, depending
I
on.
kept thinking they were going to get hit by a light pole. Did you see all the light poles? That was obviously a road.
Yeah, and maybe that's
That was
why they had
huge.
to like build the road specifically for this. They had to pave the road themselves, and they're like, "Oh, we're going to save money because we have the blown out windows here from the front of the thing." But I was like, "How are they actually seeing out of this fucking thing?"
Exactly.
I had to go back because I was like, "Oh, there was an accident in the middle, and this one thing got its like windscreen blasted. It looked like 2 things hit the front of it. There was like huge cracks." And then I went to the beginning of the daily, and I was like, "Nope, they were like that from the beginning. Never
They
mind."
were like that. Not like one of them fell off the platform and hit the windshield.
Or like as they were turning, they hit one of the targets or something like that as they were resetting, and they're just like, "Eh, let's just keep going. Nobody's got to know about this."
Well, I may have to watch it for a 3rd time just to see that because I missed that.
I'll send you the little screen grab that I got.
Oh, okay. That might be easier.
Yeah, a little bit easier. Tori didn't good.
Because I actually watched this before Steven watched it because he sent it to me on Friday.
Yes.
And I knew who won and who lost before Steven did. It was
That's
great.
the first time in a very long
First
time
time
that I
ever.
believe that's happened. Yes.
First time ever. Yeah, I quite enjoyed that.
How did that feel to like be able to hold that over me? Because usually I'm talking to you up until Wednesday, and I'm afraid to like let that slip in our conversations. It's like, well, we talked to so and so this week.
You've done very well at not telling me.
Yes.
And we talk for days. You watch it over the weekend. I don't watch it till Wednesday night or sometimes Thursday. And you've never given it away, and I appreciate that very much. But no, it was tempting to give it away to you, or just of my age, it may just slip out.
Yeah.
You go, thanks, Mom.
Thanks, I
Thanks for
appreciate
letting
that.
me know.
Yeah.
I did not.
Rachel did a great job. Queen Rachel really finding her element. Perfect daily for her, for everything she suited for. No puzzle, nothing weird that's going to get mixed up into this. But she did an incredible job. And then Jordan also just, being Jordan. It's unreal how good he is at some of this dumb stuff,
Just almost everything everywhere, isn't he?
Yeah. It's like
all around, as Tori said.
Yes. All around, just really good at everything.
Yeah.
And then we saw why they were saying all the stuff about Derek. It became very crystal clear. And I'm like, okay, he's going to tie Jordan at this point. That's why we were setting this up. So they have a tie, which very rarely happens anymore on the show, because it's like, okay, if each of you have the same thing, then we go to whoever did it first. But because that doesn't work in this, and I don't think they anticipated having to do a sudden death. They do a little sudden death.
No.
And boy, did Derek get the W. There's going to be people saying that Jordan let him win and all this stuff.
I thought about that too, and I watched it a second time. I don't know. Did he fall short or did he just miss it? I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
Hard to tell.
I don't know. But
Jordan's not that kind of person who would give something away to someone, but if he did it for anyone, it might have been for Derek.
I would agree with you with that. Yeah.
Especially as he wasn't going to go in no matter what, because he wasn't one of the people who might have gone in.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Like that, it wouldn't have mattered at that point if he did it. The only thing I could think of is like he would have got protected as a target for
Oh.
Yeah, it wouldn't even mattered. So yeah.
True, because they were picking girls. Yeah.
Yeah, and he knew like, okay, I'm not going to come in second. It's good for him to maybe get this, but whatever. here's the thing. I don't know why Derek appears so small on camera, and maybe this is just what I think of him from when we first met Derek back in the day on the challenge, but
Okay.
he like comes off kind of like small and I don't know, for lack of a better term, scrawny, and maybe it's just like how he is physically built versus the other men on the show who are like beefy boys and like jacked, and I think they even said that during this. But when I met him out here at the challenge event at the little party that they had, I was surprised how tall and like how
He
much
was.
meat he had on his bones versus I think what my memory of seeing him on this show is. So I'm also factoring into the like underestimating him again, I guess, because of those reasons. But I was like, oh, Derek is actually quite tall. I think he just, reads different on camera as some people do.
Yeah, he doesn't fluff himself up like Bananas and Jordan do.
Yeah, or somebody like Fessy, or like just the bigger dudes on the show who are more jacked, like a Corey or something like that, or even Josh. You know what I mean? So,
yes, they all seem to be a little bigger than him. But I didn't realize you'd met Derek when you went out there, or you went to that.
Yeah, he was at the party too. We only like spoke very briefly. He was pulling a mix from last week. He was just ripping shots and going for it, and I respect the game. I respect it.
Yeah, that was a good elimination. I liked it. I don't know whether Mixie would have given it a like she does some weeks.
I think it was something different, and like these type of dailies, I think are the ones that you can showcase and put in the ad, which it was. This was in the season trailer.
Okay.
And this is, again, the reason I don't like to watch those is because we're on episode, 14? And
you see who's still there.
And I could, because it's a very memorable thing from that trailer of them hanging off the side of the thing and hitting smoke out of a target. And I think it was probably Corey or somebody like that, because I remember seeing the exact same shot. I don't remember who it was, but I'm like, that was the thing they used in the trailer. So to me, it's kind of like, this is the reason I don't like to watch those, because I have a good visual memory of like recalling like, okay, well, so-and-so's in, and I clearly saw them doing a daily that we haven't seen yet, so they're not going home in this elimination.
Right.
So that's the reason I don't like to watch those.
Not early.
Yeah. And not early. I'm like, well, we're at freaking episode 14, and this is finally coming up. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 28 minutes into the episode, or 28 minutes onto our timer, I had no idea who was going to lose. And then Josh starts crying. And I was like, well, bye-bye, Josh. Bye-bye, Josh. See you later, Josh.
But that's normal for every episode.
Yeah. And then I was like, okay, well, now I know that now he's going into the elimination.
Yes, true.
And obviously these are recorded after they have done the elimination at this point. So I'm just like,
they always are, right?
Yeah, especially, for the exact episode. Now, some of the stuff is recorded earlier. That's why they're making them wear the same clothing for everything.
Right. I can see that. Yeah.
But I'm just like, I feel like this is it. But as you said before, I was like, well, they're showing a lot of Corey as well. And like,
a lot of Corey with, talking about his daughter who had to have the operation. It's just like, I don't know. They're showing equal amounts of both of them. And to see Josh crying is nothing unusual. So that didn't give it away.
That didn't give it away. He didn't start talking about his family at some point. I was like, okay. This was the first one that I was not certain on what was going to happen.
Agreed.
But
agreed.
I was like, oh, we made it 28 minutes. Josh is crying now. Okay. But then we had a lot of stuff with Corey as well, and especially the stuff with Nelly T, which we'll get to in just a moment.
Okay.
How do you feel about Josh MB? Keeping in mind we might have him on at the end of this episode.
Oh.
He might be being made available this week for the interview.
I don't know. I just think he is an emotional man.
Yeah.
And takes things very seriously. Came from humble beginnings. So for him to even be on this show or be close to winning, I just think emotionally, and maybe his parents are like that. Maybe his mom's like that. Maybe I don't know if he's got brothers and sisters. Maybe they're just one big emotional family who cry a lot.
That could
and
be
there's
it.
guys out there who do that. And, not big and brave and wait till the camera stops to get in the corner and cry,
Yeah.
The man can't help it.
Yeah, you
So,
do. Yeah. I think with Josh, it is a very weird scenario because, again, I didn't watch him on Big Brother, so I have no idea what he was like on Big Brother.
Okay.
I don't know if this is like a challenge specific thing. I know he was like kind of mixed it up in the house, which we do see some of that, but I don't know if he was like an emotional person on Big Brother as well. And this is just always what it is.
How far did he go in Big Brother? Did he win?
Yeah, he did win Big Brother. Yeah.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I just think he flip-flops a lot. He finds a friend and maybe they do him wrong a little bit, like Bananas, or he does something to Bananas. And then he's trying to find a new friend, or like with Rachel. Yeah, she's always backed him up. And then him and Corey were friends and they weren't. He's trying to say they're family and you don't treat family like that. He just finds it hard to make good, long-lasting friends, in my opinion, although he is on that Vacation Alliance. So,
well, I think so. That's the difference. And I think somebody brought it up, and I don't remember if it was this episode or another episode, but they were saying like, you can be friends with everybody, but you can't like have an alliance with everybody. There's a big difference. But I think what the problem becomes is this is the stuff that happens. Cause then if you're friendly with everybody and you're friends with everybody, there's no way you can go through that game and not have to make tough choices. And I think this is what happens to Michelle a lot of times as well, is you have to make tough decisions. And unless you have to be like a stone cold person in order for that not to affect you.
For sure.
And he's not one of those people. He's definitely not one of those people.
He wants to be friendly with everybody and I don't know. You can't pick 10 people to be an alliance because then you're going to have to pick one of them and throw them in. You have to pick 3 or 4.
Mixie is here. That does sound like something Mixie would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Like Grey Goose. I do have a bottle of that.
Oh.
I'm not dropping.
Oh, okay. Watch out, everybody. Watch out.
I can't believe I'm going back. I can't believe she was. Grey Goose is so much stronger than other vodkas. The proof is much higher than the Smirnoff, which you got. But
yeah, and then I got called out for trying to like be a part of the drinking. Like I can't even pick the right Smirnoff. Jesus Christ.
There is alcohol in there. No, I would buy that. We have that at work. Smirnoff vodka. Yeah, it's good. But Grey Goose is twice the price.
It's not the stuff that Granddad used to drink back in the day, which was
Pop Off or whatever it was
Pop
called.
Off, or the knockoff of Pop Off, back in the day.
Yeah, like $7 for a gallon.
Yeah, it was just get the cheap stuff. I don't think it should be this cheap, Granddad. It seems too cheap. Like I'm not of drinking age, and I know that's too cheap for alcohol.
Very true. So short story. Stephen can black this out if he wants to. So now and again, my father, Stephen's grandfather, would go out with us and we'd take him somewhere for dinner or for a drink somewhere. And sometimes he'd want to pay, and then he'd get the bill and he'd go, Jesus Christ, God damn it. I could buy a whole goddamn bottle of vodka for what it just cost me for one drink. And we're like,
yeah,
Dad, Granddad, you're out, you're having fun, you're with family. Let's just, you don't go out that often. Let's just forget about it. Just have a good time and don't worry about the bill. That's the kind of thing I may say at my age now when I go in a bar and it's $15 plus for a glass of wine. My God, I could buy a whole damn bottle for that.
You say it, I say it. So clearly it's a generational thing. Passing this down from the generations. I get it. I listen, I get it. Part of it is like you're out and about and this is what it is. But also it has the highest markup of anything else. Like it has a higher markup than the food. And here's the thing, the food should have a higher markup because somebody actually has to like make the food and cook the food and put it on a fucking plate and they have to wash the plates. You're like, there's a cost associated with doing that. The alcohol, it's literally like, here's a beer.
Yeah.
Let me pop the top off, put that down. That'll be $6. Okay. Now, MB, I don't think I shared the social clip, and I know you're not on Facebook or Instagram, so you definitely didn't see it. But 2 weeks ago, we talked about Jordan eating tuna out of a can and not a bowl.
Oh, I got this written down too.
And Jordan last week responded, "Oh, we didn't have any bowls."
Not true.
Not
I saw
true,
him.
Jordan. Not true. Mom LaFranc caught it. I caught it.
Oh, yeah.
So my guy Jordan, what the fuck, my guy?
I know. As soon as I saw Corey and Derek sitting there, I'm like, oh my God.
There's
Oh
a
my
bowl.
God. Is there going to be a bowl?
There's a
Is
bowl.
there going to be a bowl? And there's a bowl.
There's a bowl.
There's both. That
How?
was hilarious.
Listen, Jordan, you don't have to lie to the number one, but just be aware that if you tell a story to the number one, we're going to track that shit down. We got Eagle Eyes here at the number one. I got Mom LaFranc on bowl watch duty this week.
Are you going to reach out to him, Stephen, and go, there were bowls, Jordan. There were bowls. Don't be lazy.
I'm going to reach out through some of my channels because me and him, we do not conversate on the Instagram. You know, maybe it's time to, you know, start a conversation, Jordan, so we can like
Correct.
keep you in line. But I'll reach out through my channels and just let him know that maybe he would like to apologize to the number one for lying. He tried to make himself look better by being like, oh, we didn't have any bowls. That's why I was eating out of a can. There was clearly bowls. There were clearly bowls, my guy. So, you know, an apology to the number one in video posted on social media would be a good way to get back in our good graces. So the ball's in your court, Jordan.
Are you sure it was tuna salad and not chicken salad?
I don't know.
It was tuna salad.
I think it was tuna.
And
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was tuna. But
I can see chicken salad out of a can, but tuna salad,
Gross.
nah.
no. I mean, he
Yeah,
didn't
pretty
dispute
gross.
the fact that it was tuna. He only disputed the fact that there was no bowls.
Yeah, no. Uh-huh.
And Derek was eating out of a bowl. So, you know,
Uh-huh. There were
why
plenty
you
of
got to
bowls.
lie to the number one? You think we're not going to be journalists? We're journalists here at the number one. We are going to track down through sources, verify the information that you gave us. And you were clearly lying. So we don't like that. And again, an apology on social media is the only way to get back in our good graces. So leave the ball in your court, Jordan. Your move.
I'm sure he'll jump right on that. Yeah.
We're waiting, Jordan. We're waiting.
Yeah.
MB, how did you feel about Cara's alter ego?
Oh my God. You know what? That was because of last week too. Why was it because of last week? Because Mixie had black hair last week.
Exactly.
So Cara was copying her
Exactly.
wearing a black wig.
If you still aren't getting it, everyone, I don't know what else we have to do. Like,
Yes.
I mean, and the
Yes.
fact that we are not the number one rated challenge podcast only means the fact that Tim Apple has moved on from the fact that he was trying to suppress our votes, 4.5 stars. He was trying to suppress that. And then he moved on to, okay, I'm just not going to rank them as high, even though they are clearly the funniest, most journalistic challenge podcast in the land. We're just going to suppress them so nobody gets to see the number one. We're going to push these lower, lesser, less funny, less entertaining podcasts up the chart, which make my ears bleed when I try to listen to them. All for the fact of just trying to like not let people know that we here at the number one control the show. So again, Jordan, if you want to apologize and get back in our good graces, because again, we control the show, feel free, my guy. We're going to wait. Yes, the black hair. is 100% because of Mix's hair last week.
Yeah.
And I love this segment. Tori and Michelle like battling over Carl was great. And again, this was another way that I was like, our guy, Editor One, is back in the throne this week. He gave us graphics during the daily on exactly how many targets were being hit throughout the entire daily. So no, just throwing it up at the end and being like, oh, they got this. No, there was a counter going during the thing. So we knew our editor was working. And then here, as it related to Carl, later on in the episode, when Carl is out at the bar having a conversation with Derek, when they put the subtitle up, it didn't say Cara, it said Carl.
Oh.
Editor One working overtime for the number one. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, that was great. She's a sport, isn't she?
Yes.
Good for her.
Yeah, she was fun. I think you can see like when Cara is like relaxed and she can have fun, she's a blast to be around. But I can see when she's not the most comfortable.
When Laurel's there?
Yeah. She might not be the most fun to be around in those situations, you know?
Yeah, she's kind of done a 180 since Laura got out.
Purged out,
so,
yes.
Well, yeah. Good for her for, letting loose now, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And it was nice to see Michelle, even after like last week, who's very emotional. She got to like have some fun and not, she was swinging on that thing before the daily even started, like, ooh, this is fun. And then she got to have some fun here. Oh, this is the first time I felt love since Devin left. I'm so happy.
That's true. But Bananas had to have, she's not built for the challenge. Whatever. There's some tiny people who've won this show before.
Yeah.
They don't have to be big and bulky people to win.
She's won 3 eliminations this year. It doesn't like one of your eliminations was going around on a fucking little go-kart snatching a fucking flag off somebody's thing. So let's not say, well, she got easy eliminations. Come on.
No, she's very good. She was hauling those big boxes around, remember?
Yes, and had to redo that.
You're on a go-kart, Bananas?
Yeah, you were on a go-kart for one of them against somebody who doesn't really drive a car that often. Come on.
Thank you.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Not
exactly equal.
Yeah,
but we don't make up those eliminations, so
yeah. And another elimination, you were much smaller than the biggest guy on the show, and literally the best thing was being smaller than somebody else. So
for sure.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, that killed me that week. That was just so sad, wasn't it?
Yeah, Theo did much better than I think anybody thought he was going to do. So moving on. Yeah, moving on here. So Joss, you already mentioned this earlier. Coming to find Corey, I think when they got back to their house, and Corey is like, Josh is like, I love you like family. And Corey's like, well, you better start treating me like family, you asshole. It was hilarious.
I know. It was so funny. And Corey was laughing when he said it. You didn't treat family like that. No. He put it in. And he was like, well, how did it go? I tried for you. No, he didn't try for him. No, he wimped out as usual. He wimped out.
I get that, like, I love you like family is a saying. However, you don't need to say that to someone who you've just done something like that to a few weeks earlier. Like, you're trying too hard. And that's always been his thing. Just be like, hey, man, like, I respect you. I know this is going to suck. But it's like, okay, well, don't say I love you like family. Because then again, are you giving your family member 1 karma point at the end, you piece of shit?
Oh.
You gave him a 1 after all that? Because you're trying to get Bananas help?
Was that at the very end when they were doing the point system thing?
Yes.
I don't know why I didn't see that.
Yes.
Maybe I turned it.
He said he gave Rachel, Bananas, and one other person a 5 and gave everybody else a 1.
That's what he did? Why did I not? maybe I turned it off too early, Stephen,
Maybe you
because I
did.
missed that very end.
Yeah, I mean, it was right towards the very end where he was explaining the karma votes. I'm going to see if I can pull it up here real quick. Stand by, everybody.
But that's quite smart of him if he wanted those other people to win.
Yes, I understand that, but you can't say to someone, "I love you like a family member,"
And then give him a 1.
Not give them a 1.
I would have thought he would have been giving everyone a 5. Oh, well, I want to give everyone a 5.
Right. Or like, I'm going to give everyone a 3. I'm going to give the people that I like a little bit more. But basically, like, giving...
And Corey is going to see that.
Exactly.
Does he not know that Corey's going to see that?
Exactly.
So he's going to see that.
I mean,
Oh, dear.
you can say that, but like giving him a 1 is basically like giving Jordan, you gave Jordan a 1. So if you're not friendly with anybody else, which allegedly you're friends with, like, unless somebody did you really wrong, that's when you give them a 1. But like, you're trying to give Bananas the benefit so he wins, and you hope everybody else loses, is what you've just said. You know? And giving 2 of the ladies points as well. Like, I mean, whatever.
He's never going to be any higher on Banana's totem pole. He's just not. You know?
I mean, Bananas did look upset when he lost. He was trying to help him. However, not the best elimination for Josh. The goof, he's been referred
when
to.
I saw it and knowing how fast Corey can run, I kind of figured, you know, that he was going to win. And I wanted Corey to win.
Yeah.
I want him to go to a final and do well. I've always liked Corey.
Yeah,
I don't know why he's been on many seasons, but I've always liked Corey.
Yeah.
So before he was married, before he had kids, I've just always liked him.
Yeah,
you know?
he's an interesting cat. And
even with his bad choices in hairstyle sometimes. When he had those beads in his hair and they were coming down in his face, and that drove me crazy for an entire season.
Not the best. Yeah. We'll jump back up. The chamber was pointless as always. We're blowing over the chamber situation this week. It just led to more Josh crying and saying how much everybody means to him and stuff like that. It was too long for what we knew was coming and what we knew were happening. Clearly they needed time to fill this episode. And then one of the most unexpected things happened is Corey was going into the room to make the phone call. I go, oh God, I'm going to see the kids. Let's see the kids. No. It was Nelly T.
Oh my God.
Nelly T.
Was so good. I loved every second of that.
Now, I think I had told you he had been in the car accident, right?
Oh, absolutely. Oh yeah, I knew all about that. Yeah.
And I'm wondering if people if like the casual viewers who aren't like plugged into like the challenge off of the show might not have known all of those things. You know, how they would have felt in the moment about this. This was obviously filmed a while ago because he's been going around with this, prosthetic for a little while now on social media trying to, get better and stuff like that. But, they did lose some of the story, which obviously they couldn't. Like, he was trying. He had, like, a bunch of surgeries with trying to make his foot right, just screws and nails and everything. And then they were finally like, listen, this is just not working. It was just painful. So they did what they had to. But I think the best part of this, besides the emotional aspect, which we don't do good here on the number one, was the fact that Nelly T had his own neon sign that said Nelly T in the background and his own jacket with Nelly T on the jacket. Like, perfect. Absolutely perfect.
He was just so happy to be there. And you could see him and Corey are best of friends. And what a positive attitude he had. Maybe because he just learned that he was going to get his prosthetic. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure he's been, crying like Josh some days. But how long has it been? Like, it's been way over a year, right? Maybe 2 years since this happened.
Somewhere in that range, I'm going to say. Probably about 2 years since he was in the accident.
Yeah.
Or at least to like now-ish, maybe. I don't know exactly when this was filmed. I think this was filmed the beginning of last year or something like that. So,
that's true.
Or this year, technically.
Right.
But yeah, the jacket threw me. Like, he was so happy. And I'm like, does he have a jacket that says Nelly T on it? And like,
why not?
Why not? Exactly. And I wonder, Mixie has always not been the biggest Nelly T fan. I'm wondering.
Oh, I know. I've heard her.
I'll have to write it down for the next episode. I'm going to write it on our official log. If Nelly T having a jacket with his name on it has done anything to her perception of Nelly T, how many points does that get in the book of Mixie?
True. You know what? The last time Nelson was on there, Mixie softened towards the end of the season to Nelly. She did. She softened a little bit. So I remember that. But no, it was great seeing him and his positive attitude and the fact that he was getting a prosthetic.
Yeah.
And they were kind of, the two of them they're like brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah. They really are.
They're very good with each other. I think they bring good energy to the show. I mean, that whole thing where like he sacrificed himself literally, which was
I remember that.
What a great moment for the show when that happened.
It really was, knowing that he's probably going to go and lose that.
Yeah.
Okay,
and now we get to the point where we were all waiting for this entire episode. When will Corey look at photos of his kids? We were waiting the entire episode. We've been waiting the entire season, actually. And it took us to episode 14 to
see a photo.
Corey look at photos of his kids. Now, I have to ask the tough question here because we are the number one. We are journalists. Did production make Corey look at photos of his kids?
Wait. They made him wait, not look. Wait. He probably went this week, and they're like, no, not this week, Corey. This week? Can I show him this week, Corey? No, not this week.
Not this
and
week.
So finally this week they went, you can do it. Yay, I can show photos this week. That's what happened.
That's great. That's hilarious. I love that. Yeah. It's like, can I do it this week, please? And they're like, no. Please, sir, may I look at photos of my kids this week? No.
No. We're not showing them.
We're not doing that. You're not allowed to do that, okay? Like, only when we need to throw the viewers for a loop that you may go home, we're going to do that. There was a really nice moment there as well where Derek and Rachel are sitting on the couch, and they started talking about, representation, and then they do this flashback to all of the people who were on the show, and some of these people I kind of forgot about for a little bit of time, and I was like, yeah, the challenge was, like, pretty big before this became like a really relevant conversation of representation. I was like, oh yeah, that person was on the show. Oh, I haven't seen that person in so long.
No, I totally agree. I enjoyed watching that and going back. Not that I've watched from season 1. I've watched like maybe 20 seasons, something like that. But yeah, I recognized a lot of the people. And who was the young girl who was the English girl? What was her name?
Big T.
Yeah, Big T. Yeah. What a great story that was.
Yeah.
And Nani and...
yeah. I was like, because they started right out of the gate with Babe and Babe. I was like, of course, let's just shoehorn Babe and Babe into this season somehow. And then it was everybody. And I was like, okay, thank God. I thought they were only going to show one example of representation. I was like, of course it would be Babe and Babe.
One, yeah.
Oh, why not? No, let's show everyone else on this show. And then they did. And I was like, great.
Yeah, they did.
That was great.
I love when they go back in time like that to past episodes for anything.
Yes, it's a nice moment when they do those types of things. Really enjoy it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm glad they did that. I'm glad they had their little moment there. I don't know if that was a pre-planned conversation to have them sit down and talk about that. But it was good. It was good. I was like, oh yeah, that season. Oh yeah, that person. Oh, that would be nice to see them on All Stars. So we'll see if any of that comes to fruition.
Yeah, a few of them have come to All Stars. Yeah.
Okay, to the actual elimination, I did like this elimination, the idea of this elimination, if it was anybody other than Josh competing against Corey.
He's not a great runner. I'm not saying he couldn't run a long way, but Corey, I mean, he's a speed demon.
Yes.
Maybe not long distance for Corey,
Yeah.
but short distances with his background, his sports background, you know, doing 50 yards or 25 yards on the field.
Yeah.
He was super fast. And there was a big difference in who, you know, where the runner and the one who was supposed to push him over were
Yeah.
right?
And I was thinking about this when watching it, because I did watch the elimination twice, just trying to figure out, like, okay, was the line really where it should have been? And then I was like, no, this is just the Josh effect. The Josh effect of just him being big and, as CT has called him before, the goof, and not being very agile, as we've seen him do,
Yeah.
you know, time after time after time. It just wasn't the best for Josh in terms of jumping over a hay bale. And the first time he just falls over into the hay bales, and everyone was like, oh man, Josh. Like the editor one was like, I'm supporting the number one, and I'm going to put in people being like, oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh boy. And then the second time he tried to like lay on it, and, you know, he didn't try and jump over. He's not light on his feet. He can't like jump up and jump over like Corey was doing.
Yeah, he doesn't have those like a leaping ability. He doesn't have that high jump because he's got some long legs and stuff like that.
Like Corey did. How do you think Corey would have done against Bananas in that?
That's what I see. This is what I wanted to bring up. Like, this was a absolute slaying. It was 4-0, and I'm afraid.
Yeah.
I think this is actually a very good daily for both men and women, or elimination for both men and women. And
yeah,
as simple as this is, the fact that we haven't seen this as an elimination before is kind of surprising, because you still get the ability to have like a hall brawl in a way. And you get the ability for somebody, if they can like jump over, like offense and defense are both kind of equal. You just got to be quicker than the other person to beat them out. Against Bananas, I think it would have been a pretty even fight, I think, because Bananas can do those box jumps and clear stuff, and then it would have been like a wrestling thing trying to push somebody out of the ring.
I agree. I think it would have been, they would have gone to 8, you know, they would have been.
Yeah, I think we would have had far less chamber time this week if it was anybody else in the elimination, because they would have had to have more to show than that.
I know.
Yeah, he just wasn't agile enough to do this.
Do you think the rest of the cast could see the other side of the wall and who was coming up on that side at all?
No, there are the little like breaks in the wall that they had.
But that didn't help them. I don't know that they saw until they came around the corner.
And actually, I'd be interested to ask somebody that was on the stage, like, was this maybe like exciting for you to like not know where the other person was at until they came across the wall? So I would like to see this again. Josh said during the middle of this, and this was the point where I actually laughed out loud this episode as well. He said, my strength in this isn't going to be my speed. It's going to be my endurance. My guy, this is a speed and agility thing. At what point do you think endurance is going to play into any of this?
Yeah, but that might have been before they did the elimination, and he was thinking that
could have been from 5 weeks ago, for all I know.
think they stuck that in. You know,
Editor 1 doing him dirty. Editor 1, what are you doing, man? Editor 1.
That was sad for Josh. They pick out anything that makes him look worse than he is, you know, and I don't like that.
But honestly, somebody has to approve that edit too and be like, that's a bit too much. We should take that out. Like,
someone should have taken it out.
He's going to get worked forward to 0. Let's not have him putting in something which makes him clearly not understand how the elimination works.
Yeah.
So,
hey, Josh, if you're listening, I didn't use the other word for you through the whole episode. So, Mom LaFranc did not do that. So,
That's the end of it. I mean, he get his clock clean. So, I guess the question to ask at this point, and if we do interview him, I do kind of want to ask them this, is siding with Bananas through all of this, did it work for you? Did you get to where you wanted? And do you think if you didn't do that, if you kind of draw a line and stayed on the Vacation Alliance team, where would that have got you? Would you have got to a final? Because inevitably that's what he wants. He wants to get to a final at least. Everybody wants to win, but at this point he just wants to get to a final. And
I think once Era-Ous was broken up and so many people were being eliminated, I mean, besides Tori, who else was left on the Vacation Alliance?
Well, I mean, he had a major role to deal with that. He had a major part to do with
very true that they got eliminated. Yes.
the reason that they all started getting picked off was because he made a decision, and that's inevitably what caused those numbers to dwindle. And he luckily went to the other side, but as the numbers got lower and lower and lower, I mean, there was only so much Michelle could do there. You know what I mean? So,
yes. True.
I think only one person basically got saved, right? I think something like that. So,
Tori
and all that.
He didn't.
Yeah.
Or Tori and Cara didn't get picked because Corey picked Jenny, Aviv, and who else? And Michelle.
Yeah, I mean, going into last week this week where he became a target, when Michelle had to pick him. You had the person who won the daily who was not going to be in. And then it came down to basically Derek was the other one that saved because there was 5 men left going into this one, right? Is that where we're at now? I'm going to quickly pull up where we're left. Is there anything you want to talk about before we get ready to wrap this up here, MB?
The only thing I want to pick for the beginning of next week would be which season.
Look at this. MB's got it figured out here.
I don't have it figured out. I don't. I don't know. This last week or this week was 30. So I'm going to go do they go back? Have any of them been in the 1 through 10? Have they picked any of those yet? Or they're not going back that far?
I don't know. I feel like maybe one of them has, but I don't know.
I'll do 14.
MB is going to do 14. And then I'll do, I'm just looking at numbers on my keypad here, 25. I'm going to go 25. So that's where we stand on that. Okay, as of the end of this episode, here's who we have left. For the men, Bananas, Corey, Derek, Jordan, Kylan. So there are 5 men left at the end of this episode. And for the ladies, we have Aviv, Cara, Jenny, Michelle, Rachel, and Tori. I think I've done my math right there again. Let me count that. Aviv, Cara, Jenny, Michelle, Rachel, Tori. So there's 6 women left.
So they're going to do one more elimination for the women, and that's going to be the final after that?
I don't know. Maybe.
This week? I think so, because it's no fun if you just have 4 of each in the final. You got to have 5 and eliminate someone halfway through the final. So I think
or you do it the other way. Or you do it the other way. You take 8 and then you have 6 left, which is probably much easier production wise.
5 men left.
Say that again?
5 men left?
5 men left.
5 men?
Yes.
Well, there's 5 men and 6 women, you just said.
5 men, 6 women. Yes. So
I do math.
Yeah, we do math here. So this is 14. That would be 15, 16, 17. I don't know. Part of me thinks we're going to do 4 and 4. Which then gives us another 3 episodes before the final. So we're on 14, 15, 16, 17. And then the final would be 18, 19, and the reunion is 20. If they do 20, I mean,
I beg to differ. I think they're going to change it. I think they're going to do, you say 3 more episodes. I say no. I think next week, after they eliminate one of the women, he's going to say you're going to the final. That's my prediction.
Okay, that's MB's prediction. We like it. We love it. We want to see it. here's hoping. I mean, that would be a pretty sizable final if we're partnering up and doing stuff like that. I think
This was episode 14?
this was 14, yeah.
14 to 15, 16, 17. Yeah, maybe that's too short.
If we do a 2-part final, I don't know.
That would only be...
And maybe even at that, I don't know if we do that. I think we do like an episode and a half final where they start and then we cliffhang in the middle of it. That seems more realistic than a full 3-hour final of stuff, you know.
As long as TJ doesn't have to dress up in some kind of crazy I'll be fine.
Another train conductor, TJ, yes. I should reach out and be like, are you dressing up for the final again this year?
He is just so hot. He does not need to be in that kind of a,
Yeah. He should have just said, no, I'm Mr. TJ, the handler.
Uniforms I'd like to see him in, but not that.
Not that. Air horns. Air horns.
I know. Shut up, Mom. Yeah.
No, do your thing. Do your thing. Tell Mr. TJ what it's about, you know? I'm trying to think if there's any other business things we got to take care of. I don't think so. I don't think so. There is this week. Again, if you're feeling very kind and appreciative to Mixie's efforts from last week, please go ahead and donate on the YouTube. I know a few people have asked about a Venmo for the show. We have not done that yet. I don't know if we're going to do something like that. Just a Venmo, send money to the number one. People have talked about a Patreon. We always said we don't want to put anything beyond a paywall. And I think you have to at least do something. If you create a Patreon Plus, just like Google, they're going to keep some of the money. And as you super like on YouTube, it does, I believe, help boost the video, showing that people are actually liking and contributing to these videos. So I think that helps push the exposure to the videos. And as always, the comments help. So remember, there was not a lot of YouTube people guessing stuff from last week. They were distracted by Mixie's black hair. It was black and how many shots she was taking. So remember to guess so you could potentially win a bag. And MB, thanks so much for doing this. This was great.
It was my pleasure. I love watching the show. I love listening to the podcast. But now I've been watching you on YouTube instead of just listening, doing that every week. Yeah, it's great. Thank you for having me. And happy birthday, Mixie.
Hey!
Happy birthday.
Hey! Yes, as this is airing, it's already been Mixie's birthday, guys. I'm not going to tell you the exact date because she does not like people knowing that, but we at least know the week that it's in. So if you want to be in the YouTube comments and wish her a little happy birthday, feel free. Wish her a little happy birthday, you know, for Mix. That will wrap it up this week, everybody. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Remember, you're subscribing on YouTube. We need to get to 1,000 by the end of the season, so we're running out of time. We're running out of time, all you people who watch and donate but aren't subscribed. You crazy people. So go do that now, and we will see you. For my son. Say that. Yeah, donate for her son. That's what she just said, I believe. Donate for her son. Yeah, we got bills to pay. Here's the number one. Again, that wraps it up this week, everybody. Thank you so much, MB. Thanks for jumping on. We really appreciate it. Everybody loves her. If you want to go show MB some love, Mom LaFranc, some love, you can do that on YouTube as well. Donate and just let her know you love her and you miss her on the show. And her laugh and her chuckles. And Mom LaFranc takes of the week. Back in the olden days of the number one.
Back in the old.
That wraps it up, everybody. We love you very much, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.